What was Deion Sanders doing at the end of Colorado versus North Dakota State? Ladies and gentlemen, the Colorado Buffaloes start the season off 1-0 after squeaking by FCS North Dakota State. We, of course, had North Dakota State plus 10. If you want to see those kind of high-level picks, make sure to be following the Twitter. But at the end of the game, a lot of question marks from Deion, a lot of question marks around the play calling, a lot of question marks around the time management, and some question marks from the referees at the end of the game when they were seemingly taking seconds off of the clock with North Dakota State. In today's football, whether it's college or the NFL, optimal game theory, optimal situational management, whether it's at the end of halves, end of quarters, end of games, whatever, is so important. And we see it every single week in the college and in pros of coaches messing it up. And we're going to call them out. Whenever it happens, we are going to call them out. And it happened in this one, so let's go ahead and break it down. This is the end of the game. We're going to start at the 2-minute, 19-second mark of the fourth quarter. So we're going to take a look at this whole thing, break it down play by play, just so I can kind of explain exactly where Deion messed up or exactly where I thought there was some serious confusion of what they were doing. So here's the situation. So North Dakota State, it has 2 timeouts. It is 31-26. Colorado is up by 5 for all of you who do not have a calculator. Now, the 2-minute warning does act as a third timeout for North Dakota State. So for all intents and purposes, they have 3 timeouts. Colorado at this point is really just trying to bleed clock, get a couple of first downs, and kneel the ball out, and that's going to end the game. Okay, they're really in this situation right here, especially with how good some of Colorado's playmakers are, you would think there's probably no way North Dakota State gets the ball back if you're looking at this. So let's see how this all plays out. All right, so the first play, now again, because you are on the north side of the 2-minute warning, the playbook is kind of open here because you know that you're going to probably run a play, and then you know you're going to run a play, and then the 2-minute warning is going to stop you, so you can kind of do whatever you want, okay? So let's go ahead and take a look at how this plays out. 1st and 10, let's roll, see what happens. So this play call, no problem with at all. What you would think, run the football, right? But you don't necessarily have to do that because, like I said, you're on the north side of that 2-minute warning. So I don't have a problem at all with this play call. This is a super high percentage completion pass. This is virtually a running play. And this is kind of what I'm talking about, where get your playmakers in space, high efficiency pass to where you don't have to worry about an incompletion. Let the playmaker make a play. You have probably a better chance of picking up first downs and moving the sticks with your playmakers than you would just running the ball up the middle. So no problem here. North Dakota State handles it pretty well, goes for absolutely nothing. 56 was a monster this game. 53 is the one that tried to rip the ball up, but 56 was fantastic for North Dakota State all game. So this play does nothing, but it goes to 2-minute warning. All right, so we hit the 2-minute warning. Like I said, the 2-minute warning timeout happens. Okay, so now we're at 2nd and 10. Okay, now it's 2nd and 10, and now we're in some serious clock churning situation where all you want to do now is kill that clock, force North Dakota State to use their remaining timeouts, because you know now that the 2-minute warning is gone. Basically, if you get a first down, this game is over. If you get a first down, they're out of timeouts, you kneel it out, and this thing is over. And you can't trust your defense. You do not want to give North Dakota State the ball back because your defense is horrible. So 2nd and 10, what are we going to do here? Dangerous play. Okay, now we're in the territory of, hold on a second, this is a bit of a dangerous play. When he first threw it, I thought it was getting picked off. Look at the slot corner here. Slot corner crashes in. If the slot corner, he ends up getting picked. But if he is, a better player, if he's on North Dakota State, no hate, and if he's looking in at Shedeur Sanders, this right here is much less of a high efficient completion, high percentage completion than the previous play. The previous play was almost just like a long toss. This is anything but. So when he first released it, I was thinking this is getting picked off. Like right here, if that pick doesn't happen, this is a really dangerous throw. Okay, so, and not to mention, what are we throwing the ball for? So this happens. Now right here, it's not going to go for much. If you're 10, all you want to do is stay in bounds. Going out of bounds would be an absolute disaster. So he does a good job. Now, when he cuts out there, I'm thinking, oh, he might get out of bounds. But he does a good job of staying in bounds, stays in bounds, clock runs. North Dakota State burns the timeout. Okay, so now it's third down. Now we have an interesting situation. All right, because it's third down. So it's 3rd and 8 now. You have forced yourself into a throwing down. You have forced yourself into a 3rd and long with very little to show for it. So what do you do now if you're the Buffaloes? Let's take a look. Let's try and speed it up here. All right, here we are. 3rd and 8. 1 timeout now for North Dakota State. So again, the first down, you're thinking is the game's over. All right, so here we go. 3rd and 8, drops back. Big time flush out of the pocket here. Big time flush out of the pocket. Plays extending for a long time. If you are Shedeur, part of you is thinking the play is kind of dead. Like the play is kind of dead. I'm rolling around all over the place. I really do not want to turn the ball over, and I really don't want to stop the clock. So I really don't want to huck this thing up that could possibly be intercepted, and I also don't want to just throw it out of bounds or throw a really low percentage pass that could stop the clock, and all of a sudden North Dakota State has the ball with a timeout and a minute and a half against our horrible defense, and they score, they win. He does a little bit of everything. He hucks it up, all right, hucks it up into no man's land, underthrows it because he was getting hit and pressure thrown off his back foot. If this linebacker / safety, whatever the player was, whatever position he is for North Dakota State, if he turns around, this ball is probably picked off. At the very least, it's knocked down. Okay, doesn't know what's going on. He's in a different unit. He's in a parallel universe. Horrible, never turns his head around. He is becoming one with the wide receiver. Easy pass interference call. All right, so super bailout in every single way. Bailout that it could have been a interception. Bailout that it could have been an incompletion. Bailout that the clock could have stopped. Now, Colorado gets a first down. They reset the downs. All of that happens. So North Dakota State, right here, you're thinking, okay, good chance that the game's over. Good chance the game's over now. Colorado should come out running, borderline come out kneeling. You're right around that territory of that kind of clock management. So let's see what Colorado decides to do. 1st and 10. Come out throwing. Not just throwing, but we're throwing just regular, good old-fashioned routes. A regular, good old-fashioned just throwing downfield. Not the high percentage screen routes, not the little dump passes in the flats, just acting like it's the first quarter. Basically, this is a go route. This is a go route. This is just one-on-one, take a shot for absolutely no reason. You're not trying to score. You could care less about scoring. You could care less about any of that. You have a play clock of 40 seconds. They have 1 timeout. The math is easy. The math is run, or if you really want to, screen pass, dump pass in the flats, just get the ball in Travis Hunter's hand, whatever, try and get that first down, kneel it out. They take a shot. All right, same guy with the horrific coverage on the last play. He almost does it again. He almost gets himself in trouble again, not as much contact, and complete. Okay, what are we doing here, Colorado? You just saved, regardless of what just happened, at the minimum, you just saved North Dakota State 40 seconds. All right, so now it's 2nd and 10. Okay, 2nd and 10. Clock is stopped, obviously. Fast forward a little bit. This is the previous play. They were asking if there should be a targeting because of the hit. I think that would have been pretty soft. So now they run it. Okay, so now they run it. North Dakota State uses their final timeout. They run it into nothing. So now it's 3rd and 10. Same situation, 3rd and 10. North Dakota State with no timeouts now at this point. So at this point, 1 + 1 = 2. A first down ends the game. So let's see what Deion decides to do on 3rd down here. 3rd and 10. No timeouts, North Dakota State. 5-point lead. Complete mismanagement so far. You could just do a minute 30. Let's pretend like you don't throw on first down. If you don't throw on first down, take 40 seconds off of this. So you're sitting at 50 seconds. Then you just run here. Get it down to 10 seconds, punt it. Then they have, 6 seconds, something like that, 5 seconds, no timeout to score. So let's see what happens. 3rd and 10. Throw it. They throw it again. Okay. So this one is a little bit closer to that like high percentage dump pass type situation. This isn't as bad, even though it's bad. Like even though you've already at this point backed yourself into such a corner with your mismanagement of the clock that you got to be thinking like we can't take any chances. If this gets batted down at the line, if there's a drop, like you're talking about 80 seconds we've given North Dakota State. So even calling this play is kind of crazy, but I'll give them this. It is a relatively safer pass, but still, 56 has a legit chance at this ball. Okay, so dumps it off, gets it there. Nothing really doing. Still gets it. Still gets your 6 yards, and they got a punt. So they punt with. Let's see when they actually punt, because this will be important too. So the clock runs. All right, I think they end up taking a delay of game. Oh, they take their final timeout. Is that what happens? So it's 4th and 3, 36 seconds left. So, I mean, that's it right there, right? Like, the game should be over. If they do not take the shot, the game is over. That one play shows you that because they decide just to air it out, because they decide just to start letting it rip, they give North Dakota State the possession. All right, so 38 seconds. Well under how much the clock they could have ran. So North Dakota State gets the ball after the punt. So 7 seconds-ish runoff. North Dakota State gets it all the way down. I think this is the play where there's a little discrepancy in the clock. Let's see. Completion here. Hit. So he's down. All right, he's down here. First down. Clock should stop. You can see the clock's still running. All right, ran a couple seconds there. Now this part is the real discrepancy because the clock starts running, and I believe they are still moving the ball back. Let's take a look. So the referee, if you can see, the referee is moving the play back a little bit. Now the clock's at 15 seconds. Okay, this is it. Look at this. The referee has the ball. The referee is moving the entire line of scrimmage back. He has the ball. The clock was at 15. Now it's at 14. So the clock is running, and North Dakota State does not even have possession. Referee still moving the ball. Now we're at 13. Still, referee is still in the play. So the play still can't happen yet. He's playing defensive tackle. 13, 12, 11. 4 seconds run off. 4 extra seconds run off with this referee playing defensive tackle for Colorado. So they spike it here. 9 seconds run off, which is kind of controversial. So from 15 seconds to 9 seconds, 6 seconds different. Because this referee was at the line of scrimmage. So 6 seconds, that's a long time, especially with how the game ended. So the game ends on the 2-yard line. If there's a couple extra seconds, clock stops with the first down. Who knows what North Dakota State could have done from the 3. All right, and it goes to show you another reason why if you're Colorado, you can't be doing this. Because your defense isn't good enough. I mean, they went every bit of 95 yards in 31 seconds with no timeout, and no issue at all or no resistance at all from the Colorado defense. It was unbelievable. So Deion already screwed the pooch on this. So let's hear what he has to say in the postgame because they ask him about it. So in the postgame, a reporter asks, "What was with the clock management? Why didn't you run the football?"
How you doing? Good.
That last drive though, not running the ball, like throwing passes, is that something that you guys couldn't really run the ball effectively a lot?
I'm not going to say that. I mean, you got to understand, you got to take what people give you. You can't take what you want, and it's not there. I mean, what is it? What did he throw for? 445 yards? You think we upset?
How insane is that answer? How insane is that answer? Hey, Deion, you didn't. You kind of like could have iced the game, but you allowed North Dakota State a full possession. You almost lost the game at home. All you had to do was run the football, and you could have ended the game with the ball in your hands, but you elected to throw it. So North Dakota State ended up on the 4-yard line with a chance to win the game. Arguably, they could have had another play if it wasn't for the 6 seconds that was run off by the referee. And his answer is, yeah, but Shedeur threw for 450 yards. That's pretty sweet. What? What does that have to do with that at all? Take what they're giving you. My man, you could have just took a knee. It had nothing to do with the success of your running game. It had everything to do with just the play clock.
Right. Who upset? So, they didn't have a running game. Well, the passing game looked pretty darn good today. So let's be appreciative and thankful that we got one of the premier guys in college football spinning it. We're going to run the ball. We're going to do that. We're going to have a lot more balance. Today was just that type of day. You got to take what they give you.
But
He is completely misunderstanding the question. The question isn't why wasn't your running game more successful. The question was why didn't you run the ball when you could have ran the clock out.
A situation like 2 minutes left, you want to run the clock down. I mean,
you want you want first downs.
Right.
At a certain point, yes, just like we talked about. At a certain point, you are trying to get the first downs. But when the math is mathing and 40 seconds is regardless of the first down or not, regardless of if you're punting or not, as you can see, the 42nd is it is what it is. They only have so many timeouts. Like the situation at the end of the game, the situation did not call for worrying about that first down.
If you want to run the clock down, they got a 5-man box. I mean, they got five down. Like, you got to look out there and say, okay, I got one-on-one right here. I haven't seen one-on-one the whole game. So I got to do what I got to do to move these chains. And that's what that is.
Troy, go ahead.
Completely oblivious to the situational component of the play call. Now, if you're thinking this doesn't really matter, if you're thinking it's not that big of a deal, if you're thinking like, who really cares? This is from last season. This is Mario Cristobal and the Miami Hurricanes. Similar situation. Mario Cristobal has the ball with 43 seconds left. The clock is running. Georgia Tech is down 3. They have no timeouts. They cannot stop the clock. It's 3rd and 10. So right here, very simple. All you do if you're Miami is kneel the ball, right? You just run the clock out. It gets down to 30, 33-ish seconds, 34 seconds. You take a knee on 3rd down, and then you never take another snap, right? This is very simple. This is the easiest thing in the world. This is the easiest math you can possibly do. And let's see what Cristobal does. So Cristobal comes out. All right, already a problem that it's in shotgun because that's just another variable. But he's running the ball. Like, he's running a play. Why are you running this play? You don't have to do this. This is, all you have to do is take a knee. But this is the same logic that Deion's using, where, you just take what they give you. We're trying to get first downs. It doesn't matter. We threw for 250 yards. At this point, Miami is 17th in the nation. They're 4-0. They're playing Georgia Tech. They've won the game. They have won this game. They are at home. So then, boom, ball gets stripped. It's a fumble. Georgia Tech recovers. Just like in the Colorado game, Georgia Tech now gets a possession that they should not have had. They should have never got this possession. Okay, so now the defense has to come on the field, just like in the Colorado game. Same situation, no timeouts for Georgia Tech, about 30 seconds left. They need a field goal to tie. So if you haven't seen the finish, this is how it all plays out. 10 seconds left. 2nd and 10. Georgia Tech scrambling around, very similar to what we saw in the Colorado game. Floats it in. Defense is pathetic. Touchdown. Game's over. And Miami loses the game. This is an example, ladies and gentlemen. This is a real example of how these coaches are blowing these games. This shows you, whatever you think about Travis Hunter, whatever you think about Shedeur Sanders, I think Travis Hunter is a hell of a player. I think he'll be a hell of a pro. I mean, he is a generational unicorn. I think Shedeur Sanders is sweet, but Deion is outmatched when it comes to the actual X's and O's in this game. Can he recruit? Can he build up hype? Can he all that stuff? Absolutely. But not understanding this situation right here, to me, it's a conversation you got to have with your coach of, hey, do we need to hire you somebody who can do these kind of things, or what's the deal? Same with Cristobal in Miami. If you make this mistake, can you really be a head coach at this level? Right here, ladies and gentlemen, next week, Colorado at Nebraska. Right now it's sitting at 7. I would assume Colorado money is going to come in. The public loves betting on Colorado. If this game gets sub 7, if it gets to 6, I will more than likely be on Nebraska. Matt Rule, very good coach. Matt Rule certainly knows the situation, the game theory and all that. I think Colorado didn't look that great against North Dakota State. They certainly didn't overwhelm them on the interior, whether it was the offensive line or the defensive line. Nebraska is going to be much more suited up front. I think Colorado could have some real problems. Even the secondary. You know, North Dakota State was missing their best player in the secondary, their safety. They took advantage of that. Nebraska is going to be much better defensively and kind of handling the Colorado offense. So 7, what can you do with that? I think you can only lean Nebraska in this game. I think you can only look at Nebraska. I would tell you, watch the market, wait. Colorado money will come in at some point. Does smart money push Nebraska to 7.5, 8 to where the Colorado money brings it back down to 7? I don't know about that, but I would just wait, monitor, see if you can get Nebraska 6, somewhere in there, and take Nebraska. But I'll be watching this game all week long, reading the markets. But yeah, this is just a good example again of how some of these coaches, man, coaching is legit right now. Coaching is legit. Coaching, you have to be able to do these things. It is not just about recruiting. It is not just about interviews or whatever else. You have to have the X's and O's of the game management, the game theory, the end of half, how you're using your timeouts, when you're going for 2, when you're kicking extra points, how you're running the clock out. All of that is so important in today's football, whether it's the NFL or college football. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know in the comments below what you thought. Did you see this in real time? Did you realize what was happening? Were you thinking, what the hell is Deion doing? Or were you just thinking, man, Colorado is sweet, I got to get me some merch. So thank you very much for watching. I will see you in the next video.